Peace and blessings. Y'all know what it is. It's your boys, the people's rapper, Jon Connor, my dog J.A., my dog L Boogie, my dog G Money. We are the Connor Culture Podcast. Clap it up.
We
back. You know what, man? Thank y'all for tuning in. Everybody who was watching and growing with us. Want to give a shout out real quick again to the big homie, the legendary KLC, who was on the last episode and gave us just amazing stories and amazing interviews. And make sure y'all go check out me and KLC's Project 24. Is streaming now on all platforms. And if you're watching this at connorculture.com, make sure you go up into the little corner, click them three little dots, go to music and cop the music. Normalize getting the art directly from the artist. But we back, and y'all let them know what is today's episode.
All right. So today, John, you've had a pretty interesting career. I mean, as we've been learning, obviously we're doing Connor Culture Podcast, but it's actually sort of two different types of careers that you've had in rap. So we're going to talk about the difference between being an independent versus a signed artist, right? So being independent, obviously doing on your own, or entrepreneurial, or signed, working with a major label, right? We have talked about some of those stories as it pertains to some of the songs, but we want to talk more about like the music business and sort of the difference between being independent versus signed. So without further ado, since you've walked both of these paths, right? Signed and independent, which one feels to you more at home? Like more closer to like who you are as Jon Connor or even Jan Freeman?
Well, being an Aries, and for those that aren't into astrology and knowing about signs and all of that, being an Aries, man, we like to walk our own paths. We like to be in control of our own destiny. We don't really like to be told what to do. We don't like to be confused about things. We the type of people where we're very spontaneous. We're in the moment. We go off of, what we feel in our instinct. And so being an independent artist to me suits that part of my personality better because, being an independent, if I make a song right now, I can put it out right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't got to ask a bunch of people for a release date. I don't have to ask their opinion of what they think of the song, or I don't have to strategize. Like if as an artist, if I just get that intuitive nudge to want to put a record out, I can do that being independent. And I love that type of freedom, just as a human being. I like feeling free just as a person. And there's a lot of, just restraints and shackles put on you when you on a major. So I would say what suits me better as a person is being an independent.
Okay.
All right. Jay, you going next, Jay?
Sure. So I'm gonna jump into the sign part since you talked a little bit about the being independent. When you first got signed, right? What was the biggest myth that you believed about what that would mean for you in your career?
One, it's a bunch of them, Jay.
Hey, okay, go ahead. We got time, man. We got time.
One, that once you sign, you're going to be rich forever. You're going to, you know what I'm saying? Once you sign that deal, you're going to be rich forever. You going to be rich, your homies, everybody. That is not the case. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let me think. So that, signing a deal is like a magic wand that makes you rich forever. That's not true. Let me see, myths. Biggest myths. Myths that like, let me make sure. Because it's a bunch. Or
let me like ask it a little bit differently. What promises were made to you as a signed artist, and that maybe they didn't get fulfilled?
I'm gonna answer that too. Don't lose that because scatterbrain. Because I want to finish answering J.A. question too. Okay. about myths. The myth that Because I like that question because it is a lot of preconceived notions. The rich one is the biggest one. Because that's what you think, like, you know, from the time you like a little kid, that as soon as I get this deal, just the world is gonna change and everything. And nah, you know, it ain't that. You know what I'm saying? It's not that at all. But because that's such a good question, I want to make sure I go deep. Myths. That everybody that's signed to the same label like each other or fuck with each other. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a big myth. Because I'm a hip hop head. I'm a fan. I, you know, grew up studying the culture and watching all of the hip hop documentaries from The Show to Rhyme and Reason. I'm watching Crush Groove, anything hip hop I could get my hands on. And so you kind of think of it like, because the way it's projected in like a Crush Groove, right? Everybody on Def Jam liked each other because we grinding, we struggling together. You feel me? When you see like documentaries and stuff, you just think like the way that it's presented when these rap crews or rap labels come out, that it's just one big happy family. But I learned like, no, everybody don't like each other. You know what I'm saying? Some people only fuck with each other like on a need fuck with you basis. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not hanging around you if I don't absolutely have to. So that was another myth that got dispelled. The myth too that the work somehow gets easier once you get signed. Actually, the work gets harder. I think that's where a lot of people get fucked up, is because they think that once they're on, that they can kind of relax a little bit. I didn't relax, but I'm saying that that's one misconception, is that I got the machine behind me now. I ain't got to do. You actually got to work harder when you get signed to a major. You have to work harder in regards to you have to be the one standing up for yourself and fighting for yourself in these meetings with these people. You have to have the ideas. It's not like once you get signed, they got like a million ideas for you. Like they're going off whatever you was already doing that got their attention. They just want you to keep doing that. And then they'll put like muscle and money behind it to put whatever you was already doing on a bigger platform. But I think a lot of people think that, okay, the hard work is over. Now I ain't got to do all that shit I was doing. No, you got to do that more. Like you got to have more ideas. You got to believe in yourself even more. You got to be more in people's faces. You have to stand up for it's like you got to stand up for yourself even more. So that's another misconception, that once you get on, you somehow like get to like kick back or not work as hard, when you gotta work 10 times as hard to get those people to believe in your vision and to help you carry out whatever your vision is. So those are some misconceptions, and probably throughout this episode, I'm gonna go back to that just in case anything else gets triggered. But yeah, those are some things. Now,
hey, John, real quick, before we jump off of the preconceived notions, like, and I think kind of just spoke about like the time in the studio. Like, I don't think it was. A lot of people might think it's like all fun in the studio with your label mates and, you know, your producers, your engineers and whatnot. And I think you kind of spoke to it that it wasn't. I don't know. You would tell us. Was it some fun times? I know it was a lot more work to put in. Was it some fun times in the studio working on certain songs with artists on your label? And what about the concerts, like live shows? Were they fun? Traveling and doing the shows live. And
shows. As comparison to indie versus major.
Yeah, and also is that some of the preconceived notions that, you know, that some artists may have when they get signed to a label, that, you know, the times in the studio is going to be fun, the live shows, the concerts are going to be a lot of fun, or is it just a lot more work and you got to try to make it fun for yourself?
Well, I would say, as far as the studio, I would definitely say independent sessions are more fun in my case. In the times, if this is just me, everybody's experiences is different, because Normally, when you independent, you at the homie's house, your house, you at somebody's house. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
you just doing whatever the fuck y'all want to do. Y'all creating for the sake of creating. Y'all having fun. Y'all vibing. On a major, you're getting taxed for that shit. So you kind of like watching, like, okay, how long we been in here? Then there's this thing called, because, you know, every fucking hour you getting taxed on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Well, let me, you know what I'm saying? I'm using slang for the people at home that don't understand. They're charging you helly fucking money to be in these big ass studios. So as each hour goes by, it's like fucking $1,500 an hour, $2,000 an hour, $3,000, depending on what studio you work in. And when I was signed to Interscope Aftermath, I was working in a lot of dope ass studios. Paramount, American. It's not American, it's American, named after my man who made Ghostbusters, Ray. What's his last name? It's Ray Parker Jr.
Okay.
But so yeah, he owns a studio, American, which is a pretty dope studio. Is this motherfucking studio called Encore that's so pretty. And who knows, man? But you know what I'm saying? How much all of these was fucking costing per hour. But you're getting taxed. So you have to be aware of how much money is coming out every hour. You have to be aware. There's this shit called the Musicians Union where people can like charge you for shit that you don't even know you're getting charged for. I'll tell you a story.
Wow.
So there was a musician I was working with, and this happened to me twice. The first time it happened was unexpected. The second time it happened, I wanted to smack the shit out of the dude because he saw it happen to me the first time, and he kind of did the same shit the other dude did. So anyway, I won't name names because I'm healed from all of this, and I don't care. And I don't want to give these people no type of shine or no shit like that because it's live your life. You got over on me, but I learned my lesson. But here's the story. This is just me expressing the point of why independent studio sessions are more fun than being on a fucking major. Now, we established independently. Everybody's having fun. Everybody's contributing ideas. Nobody's being a fucking leech. How much can I get from this and how much can I get from that? That energy's not there. You just creating because y'all love creating. Y'all, ooh, that's dope. Let's add this. That's a dope idea. That's that. All right. On a fucking major, everybody's aware of what's going on, okay? Everybody knows, for one, if it's my session, the people coming into the session, they for one, they first mindset is they don't give a fuck how much time they waste in my session because it ain't their money. So that's number one. It's not coming from a genuine place. It's we about to order food on this nigga. We about to fucking be right. We about to stay in this nigga session and we're not getting taxed because this is in his budget. So like motherfuckers will start saying shit to you like, hey, yeah, man, shit. So while you eat, bro, can I pull up a joint that I was working on? So now they working on they shit in your time. You feel me? Because they understand that this is coming out of your budget. They don't gotta pay for this shit. So anyway, so the story I was gonna tell. There was a studio musician that Dre had suggested to me. Now, I think he had just met the dude, too. So he was like, hey, I think y'all should work together, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, cool, because I'm working on my shit. So we end up working together. I felt like we had a pretty good rapport. Like, we were cool with each other. We vibed. We had good rapport or whatever. He was cool. So...
This is the story about you smacking the shit or wanting to smack the shit out of somebody, right? I just want to make sure we get that in there.
We gonna get there.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Trust me, we gonna get there.
Okay.
So the dude was now at this particular point in time. Now I'm a grown man. I'll take accountability. At this time, this was a part of the business that I didn't know. And I'll take responsibility for it. You know what I'm saying? I'll take accountability. You know what? There was a lot of things about me when I was first getting on was very naive and I should have brushed up on certain parts of the business. This being one of them. When I'm working with this musician, I'm still in independent mindset. This is off the love. You want to see me win. Once my album come out, of course I'm going to break you off. You feel me? But I'm not thinking bro, you have an open budget at Interscope now, and they know that. You're not thinking like this, but they are. So the fucking musician, he knows this. He knows that I have a budget open, but I'm not thinking about this. So there's this shit called the Musicians Union, right? That if you turn in like these slips that say that you worked with a certain artist and you fill out these timesheets or whatever, you literally can say, I charge $8,000 an hour, and I was working with Jon Connor from the hours of 9 to fucking 3 in the morning, and they have to pay it. The Musicians Union go collect the money from whatever label you signed to, and it comes out of my budget.
Don't tell me he charged you 8 racks an hour.
Listen, bruh. So check this out, right? This is unbeknownst to me. I'm from Flint. I don't know shit. Like, I don't know this part of the game. Nobody ever taught me this shit about the Musicians Union and all of this type of shit. So I'm just still an independent mindset. All right. So, dog, I'm thinking this my man, 50 grand. We kicking it. I'm inviting him over to the house. I'm like, man, this motherfucker right here, this my man. This my dog. I get a phone call from Dre's assistant, Ashley, and she was like, John, we'll just call him Robert for the sake of this fucking story. Jan, who's Robert? And then I said, that's my man who be coming and playing music. Well, he just sent Interscope an invoice for $50,000. And then I said,
you gotta run the fade, Robert. You got run the fade.
I said, what? She was like, yeah. Did you know that? And then I was like, no. And I was like, he was charging me for that? And then she was like, yeah, Dre just wants to have a talk with you. Can you come? So now, at this point, I got butterflies in my stomach the size of eagles because I'm like, damn, this motherfucker Dre about to be pissed because like Dre wants to talk to you. I'm like, oh shit, what is this conversation about to be like, right? So I go to the studio and Dre was like, what up, JC? And I'm like, what's up? He like, yeah, I heard somebody got your ass, huh? And I said, and I'm keeping it real. I'm gonna tell the story. I listen, man. I just tell the story the best to my recollection. I remember saying to Dre, I was like, Dre, man, I'm sorry, bro. I was like, I had no fucking idea. Like this motherfucker was about to charge me $50,000. And then to Dre's credit, he stopped me in the middle while I was talking. And he was like, John, it's never the artist's fault. There's never been a time I've seen some shit like this happen where it was the artist's fault. It's always the outside motherfuckers. He said, listen, you have nothing to be sorry about. He said, just think of it like this. You learned a $50,000 lesson. Just don't learn it again. He said, now, I know motherfuckers that have learned $1 million lessons. I know motherfuckers that have learned $100 million lessons. He said, so just be glad it's just a $50,000 lesson and you learned. And I was like, man, thanks, bro. And then he was like, yeah, no. It is what it is. And that was the conversation. Wow. So you would, so now y'all would ask, so how the fuck did this happen to you again? So, okay. So this
is where you about to smack the shit out of somebody. Okay.
So, the way that this happened to me again, right? Because there was a group of people that were around at the time. Okay. There was another person who was a musician. I ain't gonna get that motherfucker no shine neither. God bless him. I hope he doing well, but I'm just telling the story as it happened. So, we'll call him Sam. Okay. So Sam is around. Sam sees the situation that happens with me and Robert. Instead of Sam being my man's, this motherfucker starts plotting. He taking notes. He see how Robert just got over on me, right? The motherfucker Sam, me and him have a conversation and he like, just know, man, I would never do anything to you like that, bro. Just know that's fucked up, bro. And I would never do anything to you like that. And I said, man, I really appreciate that, dog. I said, I really appreciate that. Fucking 3 weeks later, I get a call from Dre's assistant. John, who's Sam? And then I said, Esther, it's my man's. She was like, well, he just sent Interscope a fucking invoice for $25,000 or whatever the fuck it was. So it happened again. And so needless to say, when I had a conversation with the cat Sam, and it definitely ended with me being like, man, you got to get the fuck out of my apartment, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because at that point it was like, damn, bro, like you really watched what happened. You watched me get blindsided just so you could do the same thing. And it was like, you know, these are the things that I went through to learn, you know, learn the game. You know, when you watch shit like Drink Champs and shit like that, I think that is dope because to hear like Nori and Ja Rule and Jadakiss and everybody be able to laugh about these type of stories, because these things that happen to me, they aren't specific just to me. I think everybody that stays in the music business and takes it to a certain level and stays committed and really wants to make a living from music, everybody got these type of stories. You know what I'm saying? So like fucking Drink Champs be like, you know, that'd be the gospel to me, because when they like I seen Nori tell a story about how Murder Inc. I think did that to him. Like they were charging him when they like, yo, Nori, you need to, you know what I'm saying? We gonna come fuck with you at the studio, blah, blah, blah. Or it was a situation like that. And then they was actually taxing Nori. Like, you know what I'm saying? Every time they said, hey, Nori, come through. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they were taxing Nori.
How they gonna invite themselves and then tax you? You know,
yeah. So it was just funny to me. I seen that on Drink Champs one time where Nori and either Irv Gotti, God bless the dead, or Ja Rule was like laughing about it. And it's like, I can laugh about these things now, but I remember at the time, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I'm not that type of dude. Like, it takes a lot for me to get angry. Like, you know what I'm saying? It takes a lot for me to say I want to smack the shit out of somebody. But in that particular situation, the type of person I am, y'all, is I feel like a reaction should be warranted based on what was done to you. Mm-hmm. So like if somebody step on my shoe, I don't want to smack the shit out of you. All I want from you is oh man, my bad. And then I'm gonna hit you with the it's cool. Right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like whatever somebody does to me, my reaction is just going to match the energy of the severity of whatever you did to me.
A proportionate reaction.
Yes. So with my mans, I didn't feel like talking was the response. It's like, for what you did, I need to put my hands on you. Because not only you just stole $25,000, I don't remember what exactly the number was, but it was something crazy. For one, that's my money, dog. I've been working my ass off since I was a kid on the fucking porch to get this budget, this record deal, to be able to make a fucking living. Dog, that's not Interscope's money no more. From the time I signed that, that's my shit. You just stole $25,000 from me. And I'm a nigga that's coming from Flint, dog. Like, I come from humble beginnings. We don't just have 25,000, 50,000. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where a nigga got ain't shit.
Right.
You feel me? So in this situation, it's like, dog, for one, you pretty much just robbed me of 25,000. Two, you watch somebody do this to me, then you feel me? Manipulated the situation and gonna say, I'd never do that. Then you offered me a lie. That's number three. So then you was grimy for doing it. Then you offered the lie. Nigga, you didn't have to say, I'll never do that. I would have respected it more if you'd have just did it and didn't say that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but the fact that you went out of your way to say that I wouldn't do that, and then you did it.
You do.
I need to smack the shit out of you, dog. Yeah. Like that was like, but the thing was though, the reason why it didn't go there is because even at that particular point in time, I'm thinking he's a sucker. I'm like, if I smack him, he's the type of motherfucker that's like, I'll sue him. You feel me? It's like, because if you would do all of that, you want me to hit you. So like some bullshit can come out of this and you can get more money out of me.
Yeah, man. What's up? Crazy. I gotta ask, like, how does that money get covered? I mean, is that like, that's not an outstanding debt for you right now, is it?
No. Well, luckily for me.
Mhm.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that, like, when you sign, they gave you an initial budget, and that comes out of that budget. Say if they give you $100,000 or whatever, or $1 million to finish your project, so that comes out of that budget.
Well, right. So, like, yeah. So you sign for whatever, right? Like, so let's say you sign for like $1 million, and then the advance is coming out of that $1 million. So your advance is not the $1 million and something else. It's the advance like that you get is a part of it came out of the $1 million. You feel me?
Okay.
So yeah, man. So yeah, so all this, so your budget be open, and you know what I'm saying? There's a budget that says Jon Connor on it at Interscope and Universal and shit. So when you paying for studio time and paying for this and paying for that, then okay, that's where it's coming from. It's coming from the budget that's open called the Jon Connor budget or whatever the fuck.
So, and go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was saying that they just be spending that budget without your permission or nothing. Y'all go to dinner and suddenly it's like $3,000 spent out of your budget. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you just said it. Absolutely. Dog, I remember one time I asked, could I see my budget? And I got told no.
How is your budget?
It's mine. That's what I said. I said, why can I not see what I'm spending? And the response was, well, that's just not something we do. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? And that's when I like that. But staying on track, that's why studio sessions are less fun being on a major. Because like I said, everything is becoming grimy. Everything is about money. Everybody is setting you up. Everybody is figuring out what your budget is and how much they can get off of you and all this type of shit. And when you're independent, it's really, I feel like everything when you're independent is more, you know, handled with more integrity. I think that any music I do with somebody on an independent, you just talk to them directly. Yo, what are you expecting up front? What do you want on the back end? Do you want to get paid just off your publishing? How do you want to handle this? With the majors, everybody's hoping that you don't realize something so they can charge you for something, and you don't realize that you're getting charged for this, and it's crazy, dog.
Man, I'm kind of curious. Like now, I'm just like thinking, like, is it musicians or other rappers that are actually working with you on a song? Are they the only one that can like fill out these little slips or whatever? Or is it anybody in the studio that can do
anybody?
This?
I'm gonna give away anybody, bro. I could give away some free game. I'm gonna give away some free game right now, dog. You want to know what I thought to myself like after I left Interscope Aftermath? This is free game for anybody who watching this. This is all the shit that I wish I would have knew before I got signed, and now I know now. But it doesn't do me any good because I probably will never sign to a major ever again because I just don't fucking want to deal with that headache. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. For one, anybody could do this. I thought about this. I'm like, dog, I should have just said my mama played the keys, my sister played the drums, my auntie was the fucking backup singer, had all of them charge Interscope like $75,000 an hour and had my whole family just straight for life, dog. Like, yep, good. We all, damn, where'd your money go? Okay, there we go.
He right there.
But that's the lick, because you can do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're not checking if these people are fucking just have them sign whatever papers they got to sign that says they're a musician or whatever the fuck, and just have your family come sit in the studio with you. Right. Let them charge the label $75,000 an hour, and your family just came up millions, and go invest some shit, move to an island, and get the fuck out of here, man.
Fuck out here. Man, I'm just sitting there thinking, like, did anybody do this? Or you gotta be like some proof saying I actually worked on this track with him. You know what I'm saying? So I want to sign this slip.
L Boogie, let me tell you something. These motherfuckers, Robert and Sam, I'm talking about, these motherfuckers they not no big ass fucking artists. Like, these are motherfuckers, like, one of them I knew from back in the day. So it's like, he just filled out whatever musician union papers or whatever the fuck, and then he did it. And so that mean any of y'all could do it. Anybody.
Anybody.
We could all came up. The whole Flint could have came up.
Hey, exactly.
Wow.
Man.
But I didn't know.
I remember when Nas, he gave his daughter, like, she was little. This was like Destiny was like a kid at the time. He made her executive producer of Stillmatic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of Stillmatic.
As he should have.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, basically now for the rest of her life, she get royalties off of Stillmatic.
Yeah.
But this is somebody just sitting up in the studio, not even working on the song or nothing, and they charge.
They can fill out the fucking papers, dog. They
That's crazy.
Just a nigga sitting there watching everything, can fill out the papers and get bread.
Man, I'd be still mad about my 50 racks. I ain't gonna lie. 50 racks is still 50 racks. That's 50 more racks they would have had to pay you.
You feel me?
What
Not too late to drop a diss track.
Nah. I'm so like I say, I'm so at peace with all of that shit, man. It's just like for me, man, it's just stories to tell. It's my testimony, you know. It made me learn and grow. Like I said, at the time I was pissed, you know what I'm saying? But now it's like I said, I just understand it was necessary for me to go through those things for me, because now I know that if I ever did do a deal with a major label again, there's no game that a motherfucker could run on me now, because it's like I learned through trial and error. You know, I learned, you know, through trial by fire, man. I went through it. I seen damn near every scandalous way a motherfucker can get over on you in the music business.
Wow.
Man, but damn, that 50 racks though.
The number was probably crazier. Like I just remember the number was crazy. Like both times with both of them, Sam and Robert.
I was just talking to G the other day, right? And I was talking about making peace with stuff from the past. And I was like, man, I've made peace with, even in the fact, like beefs I've had, being shot, even like I made peace with some major stuff. But 50 racks?
I can't see making a piece of that. I want to poach a motherfucker. I got to poach
better than me, because I know cats that I loan like $200, and I still look sideways every time I see him, or every time I think about him. I'd be like, I don't never want this mug coming around me.
So, but see, here's the perspective though, right? So once you get to a certain point and you start to see how much value money really doesn't have, it becomes you're more disappointed in learning about people's character than you are about the actual money itself. Because once you get to that point, you're seeing how money is being thrown around so frivolously, and then you're seeing how easy it is to get 50,000 and how easy it is to lose it, get it again. Because at that point, like I said, I'm around Dre now. So I'm around shit that's crazy, the numbers that's getting thrown around. So like I said, when Dre gave me the perspective of, well, just be happy it's a $50,000 lesson, not $1 million lesson. So that opened my mind up to, I'm capable of learning. I'm capable of earning enough money to where $1 million lessons won't bother me. You feel me? So it stopped being about so much the money itself. What the most disappointing thing is about learning people's character. You know what I'm saying? That's what hurt more, because it's like I have the earning power and I'm sitting with a billionaire every fucking day, and he's letting me know, nah, you have the earning potential of this. Your talent has the ability to earn you this and this. So for me, it's like I could always get money back is the way I look at it. It's like, but the feelings that I used to have about that friendship, I could never get back. I could never look at you the same again. You took advantage of a part of me that I don't really give people often. You know what I'm saying? It's like 50,000, $1 million. I can get all of that back. I don't give a fuck. Like, I can sit with myself and create a $1 million idea right now. I feel like I can create a $5 million idea right now. Okay, you put the time in, you do what you got to do, you earn your money. But as far as like those experiences, them times we kicked it, the times that I thought you was the homie beyond the music, when I'm sitting up talking to you about my mom's back home, when I'm sitting up talking to you about my come up and dreams and ambition and all of that shit, and then you show me who the fuck you really are, there's no amount of money that can replace or give me back those experiences or the way I felt about you. And now I have to now, what you took from me is a bit of optimism that I have about people. Money I can get back. The optimism in people, because of what a motherfucker, Sam or Robert, what they showed me, is like, I can't get that back. You forever changed the way that I view people.
So how do you spot that kind of person though, like in the future, right? I mean, like you came across a Sam, you came across a Robert. Was it anything about them that made you sort of like lock in and be like, I have to watch out for these kind of people? So like, what is it that you look for so that you don't, put yourself in that kind of situation again?
The thing that I do now is if I meet you through music, I'm talking business out the gate. Like for me, it used to be friendship out the gate. You're my friend. We're making music. Let's make music. We're friends. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nah, fuck that. Now it's out the gate. What do you expect to get paid from this? Do you expect to get paid from this? Do you know what publishing is? Do you have your publishing set up? Do you want me to help you set it up? Do you know? This is my conversation with artists now out the fucking gate. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's get all of this out the way and then we can make music. But back when I was first starting off, like, it was like, yes, like I say, a very just naive way of looking at life. Like, everybody was my friend. And if I met you through music, we gonna ride together and we gonna make it to the end of the earth together and we gonna all of this stuff. Fuck all that. Now is, man, let's talk about this. How you plan on getting paid off of this? What do you expect from me? And let's get that out the way first. So that's how I handle it. Just talk business out the gate.
I gotta protect yourself. So one of the things I'm still stuck on, like this bread and like
we gotta get past like, Sam and Robert.
I gotta like ask like a follow up to that one. So like I'm thinking in terms of like the label, right? Like the perspective of the label. And you just mentioned it, right? Like as an artist, you can create like a $1 million, $5 million, like et cetera, like type of deal, right? So what is, I guess, like, what was the labels? And I know you mentioned like how Dre sort of approached it, right? Like, you learned this lesson, but in terms of actual dollars, like how was they making money at that time, like off of you, where like they could just be like, don't worry about that because I know you go make it back in X, Y, and Z ways, right? So we hear about things like 360s and all this other kind of stuff. How does the label make money off of artists?
Me specifically or artists?
Well, yeah, no, I'm sorry. Let me say you. Like in this situation, right? When Dre was just like, hey, homeboy, heard you got kind of thing, right? What was the conversation about? Like, we go get it back, or like specifically, what did that look like?
So I'm taking myself back to a certain point in time. So, okay, around that time, Dre really, and I can only tell the truth. Dre really was pushing for my album to come out at this time. Like he really believed like in the Jon Connor shit and the album and everything. So when it came to me and my budget, he would always just say, you don't have to worry about that. I got it. Don't worry about it. I got it. You don't have to worry about that. This is what he was saying to me. You know what I'm saying? At that time, like when it would come to things where we would have to have budget conversations, when his assistant would call me and then I would call him like, hey man, Ashley just called me and said this. Like, so what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And he would always, you don't have to worry about that. Don't worry about that. Right. So now you asked me a question earlier. You was like, so is there like an outstanding debt? The answer to the question of that is the way I negotiated my release took care of that.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, thanks for, I was going to come back to that. I was just waiting for the time. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, for the artists listening, who are doing the independent route, what does being independent actually look like day to day?
You have
because you've been working.
yes.
Yeah.
You gotta love it. You gotta love this shit. What it looks like on a day to day is you can't half-ass it. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You have to be engulfed in it. You are the CEO of your life, not just the company. You know what I'm saying? Because everything depends on you. Whether you making money, whether you bringing awareness to the situation, it's all on you. You know, like I said earlier, I'm an Aries and I like to depend on myself. That shit can be overwhelming at times, you know what I'm saying? Because it's literally on you. You're responsible for mixing and mastering and artwork and coming up with more ideas and marketing, and it's all coming out of your pocket. So a lot of times the money, I seen Dame Dash talking about, he said, I'm always broke because I'm always investing back into myself, and I 100% feel him. Like, whenever I get checks from music, it's always going back into the music. Like, it's this cycle of, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, constantly putting more into your product to help it grow so that you can attract more people. So you can put more money into your marketing campaigns. So you can put more money into your visuals. So you can pay the people that are helping you. When you got to put a fucking video up on Instagram every other day, when you have to put up a lyric video, versus a freestyle, when you got to put up all of these visuals, these people got to get paid too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it looks like, you know, you're the CEO of your life, of your entire existence. Like you wear many hats and you really have to love it. You know what I'm saying? You really got to love it to continue to do the independent grind. But I will say the risk is always worth the rewards. Because I always tell people the first big check I ever got was not from Interscope Aftermath. It was from my album Unconscious State. I think it was like 25,000. Like, and that was just mine. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I had never seen no money like that. Now, I know to some people watching it, that might not be a lot, but for a kid from Flint making words rhyme in his mama's basement, 25,000 is crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's why, for me, it made me comfortable being able to step away from Aftermath Interscope, was because I knew and I know that when you put work in on the underground and on the independently, you get back what you put in. You know what I'm saying? So if you down to work hard and, you know what I'm saying, get down in the mud, it will pay off for you.
Word. Appreciate that.
So far as being independent, right? We talked a lot about the label and the money and situation at the label. What about, like, as far as independent money, like, what are some of the ways that independent artists can kind of guarantee that they got money coming in? We know money going out because there's always money going out. But what are some of the ways that independent artists can like, you know, or some of the main things they need to focus on, so that they can make sure that they got an income on a consistent basis?
First, make sure that you set up with ASCAP or BMI, so you can make sure you can get your publishing for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you understand, like, there's a lot of different ways other than that too. Shit.
You know what, Jon? Can you break that down just a little bit more? Because I know, like, when you say ASCAP and BMI, we might be familiar, but like, explain those a little bit. What those are?
Well, ASCAP and BMI are like the publishing companies that collect your money from publishing. And what publishing is when you write a song, and when you write and produce, they collect the bread for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the checks that you get for the rest of your life. And a lot of times you see people arguing about publishing and people be negotiating the way they publishing, because those are the checks that don't never stop. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's like, it's like 5 different ways that you can get paid, like just off streaming and royalties and licensing and like, you know what I'm saying? It's so many different ways. It's people that just license. I'm glad you asked that question, because now that just made my mind open up that I can educate people on some shit. Because I think that when people say they do music, and if they not the people that's just constantly on TV all the time, or, you know, constantly popping on social media or going viral, people think like, well, how are you making music off of that? Or there's a lot of ways to make money off of music. I know friends that literally just license music. They're not trying to get a record deal. They're not trying to be on your TV. They're not trying to be famous. Those checks that come from licensing to like movie studios or TV shows or sports events and shit like that, those are nice checks, like TV commercials, making little jingles and shit like that. You get bread from that. Ghostwriting and writing for other people pays the bills. Man, it's like there's a lot of ways to get bread off of making music that is more than just, I think people get caught up in the fame aspect of it. And I think for me, after I got signed and I started seeing like that being famous was kind of all full of, you know, it's bullshit. Like I want to be able to feed my family, provide, and make the music that I want to make. So that's when I was like, oh, being on a major makes you famous, but not necessarily able to take care of your family. And when you independent, you know what I'm saying? It gives you all of the tools necessary. If you understand your business and handle everything the right way, you can make a dope ass living for yourself doing what you love.
Dope.
So you have 2 different parts of your career where you were an independent artist, right? And just one, obviously, where you were signed. So could you talk about the difference between when you first started and came into the game? Like, who was that Jon Connor as an indie artist compared to the Jon Connor now?
The Jon Connor back then as an indie artist, I didn't have to think about nothing but the music back then, because I had, you know, I had 3 separate managers that kind of held down 3 different aspects of my career, to where I didn't have to think about nothing. I didn't have to think about the business part of the music business at all, because they was handling, you know, all of that. So, like, I think that, I was just very green. I was just very excited about creating music. I wasn't business savvy at all. Like I didn't want to talk about the business of the music business at all back then. Like all I wanted to talk about was the creation of the creative shit. I got these ideas for this video and I want to do this and I want to sign this artist and I want to create and I was just 100% that all the time, because I had 3 managers that took care of the business. The me now got forced to think about the business, that I think now, and I think it was very necessary for me to be as focused on the business aspect as I am the creative aspect. Like they say, it's music, business, and you have to care about both of them equally. And I would say that that's the me now, that I care about both equally now. I care about making great music, but I also care about, you know, cut the check. Like, where's the money at? And I need to know how the fuck I'm getting paid for this.
No doubt.
Word.
No.
Is there any desire to, let's say, get back to the earlier version of yourself? Like at some point, would you like to just think about the creative side and have maybe a team that you can entrust that takes care of the business?
I don't know if I'd ever trust anybody on that level again.
I feel you.
You know, I'm just being real, man. Like, this business doesn't lend itself to loyalty and morality and integrity. Like, it's not high on those things. This is a dog fucking business. Like, it takes very thick skin. You have to, man, you gotta damn near be crazy to do this shit for a living. Like, you know what I'm saying? You really fucking do, man. You see the ugliest sides of people. You really do. You see the ugliest sides of people. So I think that what protects me now is that it's like, I think to myself, I won't even allow anybody to get the opportunity to get put in a position where they would have to question their own moral integrity when it comes to doing me right or doing me wrong. Like, I'm not going to let you amass that much power or responsibility in my life to where me and you is sitting across from each other and I'm looking at you like, word? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, really? Because it was too many times in the original Jon Connor run that it was people that I would have trusted with my life. And I'm looking across the table from them like, word, you? Like, God damn. Like, it's like, yo, I always tell people, you know how sometimes in life you just be like, man, all these motherfuckers could leave as long as I got this one person. That's gonna be the one person that does some whole shit. It's all the other motherfuckers ain't gonna bother you. It's gonna be the one person that, as long as it ain't them, well, it's gonna be them. That's who you're gonna be sitting across from, and y'all gonna be pointing the gun at each other like, you put yours down, you put yours down. No, you put your... And you like, damn, bro, you pulling the gun on me, dog. And now you putting that, it's like, it's that. It's the person that you never in a million years would have thought. Like, so, no, I would never let anybody amass that much power or responsibility in my life where I had to even think that one day I will be sitting across from them having to have a morality conversation of why I can't believe you did this to me. I'm never having that conversation again. Never. Nah.
Never doing that again.
No, never.
All right. So what's the smartest move an independent artist can make with a small budget? I know you mentioned something about ASCAP and BMI. But what are some other things that an independent artist can do, or a move they can make with a small budget?
I would say first, if you got a small budget, start making little videos. It could be on your phone or whatever, to whatever songs you feeling, and put a little bit of bread behind those ads on like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, anywhere that like suggests your music to a broader audience, because that's what you need to grow. You know what I'm saying? You need new people. A lot of times independent artists get hot in their neighborhood and they settle with that. You know what I'm saying? And think that you can't just do it with that. It has to go outside your neighborhood at some point. So I would say, if you got a little bit of bread, start putting a little bit of money into those ads on social media sites that suggest your music to new people. That's what I would say. First things first.
That's dope. It's crazy how much the game had changed, man. Like, you used to could just open up your trunk and sell 100 CDs or 100 tapes, and boom, you got money to start, or money to start doing a tour or whatever. But nowadays, the game is so much different, man. From when I used to try to involve myself in it. But how about creatively? How do you feel like your music has changed, or did it get challenged, or just you in general, your creative space when you're independent versus with a label?
That's a dope question, because it's crazy. Like, I think too, people think, like when I was on Aftermath Interscope, that Dre was the only person that listened to the music. That's not true. There was the A&R over there, this cat named Taheen Cannon. He would listen to the records. But also at Interscope is a cat named Joey IE, who's a pretty well-known, he definitely well-known in the business, and people that follow hip-hop might have heard his name before. But like, then, they'll listen to your music, and it's like, it's like you got to serve a lot of different masters. You know what I'm saying? When you on a major, like, it's a lot of people that got to like your shit to believe in your shit, because if they don't, if you play your music in a room full of these people that work at this place, see, this is good. Okay. People have to realize, man, these are regular people just like anybody else that have opinions. They got music that they like they might just not like your shit. So then when they get from the meeting, they might call each other like, oh my God, I hate this Jon Connor record. Oh my God. I'm gonna do the bare minimum. I'm gonna call like 3 radio stations and then I'm not fucking with this shit. So when people be saying like in interviews, like when you hear musicians or artists talk about major labels and say, I needed the building to believe in me. Like that's what that means. Like you need these people to be excited to make a bunch of phone calls about your shit. You need to make these people excited to call Complex, to call Fader, to call Rolling Stone, to call. They have to be, they gotta believe. Like when they call and be like, hi, this is such and such from Interscope. Hey, we have a new artist and it's fucking amazing. I'm not even bullshitting. And then the person from Rolling Stone is like, yeah, is it? Or are you just saying that? They have to believe when they be like, no, he is totally fucking worth it. You can come to the office tomorrow and I'll put my fucking life on it that you'll like. You need that. So when you're making records, you're not just making them for you making them so that the building, the marketing motherfuckers have to believe like that because they have to go talk to each other and be like, okay, so what color schemes are you guys thinking? What are you thinking for the cover of the album? You need the best to come out of these people because they believe in your music so much. So then the marketing department, you need them to believe. You need the radio department to believe because they have to call and go like fucking shake hands and kiss babies with all of these radio stations. And they have to go talk to iHeartRadio. And they got to talk to fucking Viacom and BET and all these people. These are real people that have to have real conversations and that shit is draining. So imagine if they have to call these people for a song that they fucking hate. Like think about if they have to do all of this work for a song that they don't even like. They not gonna put in the maximum amount of effort. So, okay, you got the marketing team that gotta believe. You got the radio team that gotta believe. You need the big wigs gotta believe. The people that's gonna introduce you to the big wig at Universal Studios because maybe you can get a cameo in the next Avengers movie or some shit like that. So you need the fucking old white guy that's like 100 billionaire. You need him to see something in it when y'all play it in that motherfucker system. Oh, I think you got something here, John. I think you need that. You need everybody to believe. So when y'all watching this right now, I'm trying to break the game down. I'm the people's rapper, so I be trying to break it down in the most layman's terms. So, because I feel like a lot of times people that's in the game, they'll talk about these certain things as if everyone has like common knowledge. So the thing is like, I'm trying to break it down for y'all, man. That's what it means when people say the building didn't believe in my project or I needed the building or such and such had the energy of the building. That means that somebody else's album, everybody else was more excited about and wasn't excited about your shit. They was more excited to go call to other people about whoever the fuck. So, yeah, so when it comes to being creative, yes, it's a lot more difficult because you understand while you're creating that you need all of these other people to like it for your shit to even come close to coming out, you know? Or if you got somebody that's on your team, though, that's why I respect people like Suge Knight, like Top Dog, like Master P, like Birdman and Slim, Dame Dash. You need those type of people because those type of people made it to where even if the building didn't understand or like your music, they was coming in there with so much hood nigga energy that it didn't matter if they didn't like No Limit shit or not. P was coming in there with 50 New Orleans niggas scaring the shit out of them and making sure that the radio person called the people, making sure. So either you got to make music that the building is going to like, or you got to be on your G shit and bring the whole hood with you and go into them buildings and make sure they do what the fuck they supposed to do. So being creative, as I was just a creative person, I was having to, because like I said, I was in California by myself. My crew was back in Flint. You know what I'm saying? One manager was still in Michigan. The other one was in New York. So it was like I was out there by myself. So I didn't have a team or an entourage of people to really fight for me. So the thing was I had to make music or try to be my best creative self so that I could get the entire building to like it. But yeah, it's way more difficult, I think, creating on a major just because you got to serve so many masters. On an indie, you just doing whatever the fuck you feel.
So I want to ask a follow-up question to JA's question. So, because when I hear the question about like, how did like your music or your message change? Like the first song that comes in my head is Rihanna's Bitch Better Have My Money. Because that was literally about like her accountant, like they found like her accountant was actually stealing from her. And then not only did she make the song, but then the video actually is a depiction of her kidnapping and then I think killing the accountant at the end. A bitch better have my money.
Hey, man.
So was there ever any music during like when you was learning some of these lessons about, like while you were signed, was there any point in time that some of the things you was learning showed up in your music or in your lyrics? So.
Oh yeah, my bad. Because I didn't answer that part of the question where you said the message.
See, I wasn't gonna say that part, y'all. But you
reeled me back in. You reeled me back in. So the question is, was there any messages in my music that were directly affected, like that were I was addressing in the music?
Yeah, like some of the things that you talked about, we talked about like Sam, we talked about like Robert, right? Like, or anything else that might have been going on while you were signed and it found its way into the music. It might have changed your message.
Okay.
Or
that's a good question. You want to know what's funny, bro?
Mm-hmm.
So you listen to my album, Food for the Soul?
Yeah.
So, even if you're lying right now, it's okay. But
I know it was an upward inflection on that. Because it's been like Food for the Soul. It's been like Twin Flames. It's been like 24. I was like, which one is Food? Food for the Soul is the one that came out at the top of the year. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So look, there's a song on there called Over and Over. And anybody watching this right now, go listen to Over and Over. The hook is over and over and over and over again. Around and round we go, right? So the funny part, this is a direct answer to both of y'all question. I wrote that song while I was signed to Aftermath. So now go listen to that song with that in mind. I just always held on to it, you know what I'm saying, and waited to put it out at the right time. But yes, I wrote that song because I was going through everything that I was rapping about in the song.
Dope.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, I can't wait to go back to listen to it now because I always love a good backstory to the music. Like for me, like the process of making the music sometimes is as dope as the music itself. So yeah, and I'm looking forward to going back and checking out Over and Over again.
You ever felt like you made a banger and the label was like, nah, this ain't it? And then, but you knew that was it. You know what I'm saying? The label was like, nah, this ain't it.
Man, that's so funny, dog. I got so many stories like that, dog. Man, it's so funny. I could laugh. Like, all of this is in good fun. Like I say, I don't feel no way about none of this shit. It's just all fun stories to tell. Man, me and shouts to Dim Joints, one of the illest producers. He's still over at Aftermath right now, man. Me and Dim Joints had a song. It was me and Dre. It was called Anybody Killer, right? And it just sounded like some old NWA hard ass shit. The shit was hard. And it was me and Dre going back and forth, right?
Okay.
And so look, but here's the thing. When me and Dre recorded it, we recorded it to another beat. Dre didn't like the original beat that we recorded it to. I don't even think he was thinking about the song no more. So me and Dim Joints was on some shit like, let's just make a hard ass beat and we gonna replay it for Dre and it's gonna be so hard, he gonna fuck with it. So dog, Joints make a hard ass beat to Anybody Killer. We go to Dre crib in Malibu. We like, Dre, we geek. We like two little kids. We like, Dre, we got some shit we want you to hear. We think this is the fucking one. So we cut that motherfucker on. Dun, 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 dun. That shit banging, right? Dre got speakers all in his living room. So that shit sound like a concert, right? So, right. the song go off. Dre look at me and Joyce was like, yeah, I don't fuck with it. And
Yeah.
so listen,
Ooh,
the thing that y'all gotta appreciate about your boy Jon, right, is I'm gonna be Jon no matter with who. So I say to Dre, I said, how you don't like that? I said, this the shit. I'm like, how you don't like that? He was like, Jon, no. And I was like, and then Joints funny is to Joints' credit, he has that same trait that I have, that he is fearlessly himself no matter what room he's in. So he was like, Dre, man, come on, man. Like, he was like, Dre, this that shit, this that wiggle wobble whoop whoop wham. Like, he's silly like that, right? So Dre, we could see, you know how on the cartoon when the thermometer start going, dog, Dre was looking so agitated at us, dog. He was like, I don't know why the fuck this is the hill you two are willing to die on. I don't fucking get it. I don't get it. I don't like it. No. And I was like, then me and Joint said some shit like, well, guess that solves that. And then and that was it. So that was one time, because when it came to creative shit, because you said that the label, it was like, here's the thing. The way my situation was set up was I was around Dre like all the time. So my music, like Dre was the quote unquote the label for me. Like if it made it past Dre and it made it to Interscope, that they trust Dre so much at Interscope, which they should. You know what I'm saying? They trust him so much that the A&Rs and shit at Interscope never told me like yes or no about my music, because they just said, shit, if Dre gave it the green light, then we gonna green light whatever Dr. Dre said was dope. You feel me? Mm. So my situations was, when it came to yeses and nos, it was all Dre. It was all awkward times of me playing music. Like there was that time with the song Anybody Kill It, Dre turned that down. There was this one song, and I still to this day would argue with him if me and him got on the phone and talked about this shit. It was a song that I made. It was a Lauryn Hill sample. And it was a song I made for my mama, my sister, and all black women. So the first verse was about my mama. The second verse was about my sister. The third verse was about all black women, right? This motherfucker, man, like I played it for him. We sitting there. And he like, yeah, I don't know, man. And I'm like, what you don't know? I'm like, what you don't know? He like, yeah. And then he said a phrase that I won't say, but it was basically pretty much like almost like
one of them songs that's on the Chronic.
What?
Oh,
no! No! He didn't say that. Okay. It was more so like in the vein of, this song is so positive, I don't know how it will be received, is the best way that I can word his perspective on it. And so it was like, yeah, it was a couple times. But the thing about it was, though, one time Dre told me something that was I really respected. He said, Jon, I respect how you will go to war with me, man. I respect that. You know what I'm saying? Because I never had a problem with arguing with him over music. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, whenever, oh shit, damn, these is cool stories. Like I said, I really don't be thinking about this shit until we talk about it. It was one time, dog, because the question is, has it ever been times that I played music where it got shot down or some shit, right? Mm-hmm. So, man, it was one time me and him got into, like, I ain't gonna say yelling match, but I'll say our voices were raised past library voices, right? So we on the phone, and it was a song called, I think it was called Broke Problems. And I love that song. My sister still love that song to this day. Broke Problems, I produced it. It was dope as fuck. And so he liked it. And I think I was fighting for that to be the first single, right? And man, it was like, it it was dope because let me finish. I'm Aries in right now, but the conversation went, Jon, there's a fucking entire building that's dependent on you picking the right fucking songs. And then I said, this is the right fucking song. I said, bro. And then what I said to him, it was funny as hell. I'll never forget this shit. I said, bro, listen to me. I said, you're the boss. I said, so if you don't like the song, the motherfucker not coming out anyway. I said, you're trying to get me to not like a song that I like. I said, so just because you don't like it, you can't force me to not like it. I said, just say you don't want it to come out. I said, that's the end of the story. I said, but you're trying to convince me to think it's whack, and I don't think it's whack. All right. So that's the hill you willing to die on, huh?
That's his phrase.
Yeah, and I'm like, I was like, yes. I said, but here's the thing. I said, do I like this song? Yes. Do I believe in this song? Yes. But you're the boss. So if you say it can't come out and it won't, and you don't believe in it, I'm following your lead, obviously, because that's why I signed with you, because I trust your knowledge. I trust your decision making. But that was just, stories of, yeah, I definitely had times where it was like we didn't agree on certain things musically. And like I told him, like, bro, I always had perspective. Like, I never lost sight of perspective because that's the reality of the situation. I signed a contract that says these people control these certain decisions. Now, I cannot like it, but my thought at that time was like, I'm already agitated that you have the final say so about songs that I believe in. But I can't do nothing about that because I signed this contract. But you can't take my opinion away from me. You can't take, like, that's what I felt like in that particular conversation, where it was like, if it ain't gonna come out, it ain't gonna come out. But you can't convince me that something that I think is hot is whack just because you said it's whack. No, like, you know what I'm saying? You don't like it, I do. You don't want it to come out, so it won't. Let's move on. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, but we had mad funny conversations, but always after those type of conversations, like, it would always be like, he would always tell me he respected that about me. And I think that that's why during my tenure at Aftermath, I feel like our relationship was different than other people's, because to me, it's like, dog, I'm not afraid to speak my mind. Like, what the fuck? Like, people are going to have differences of opinions. You know what I'm saying? That's going to happen. But I think a lot of times, it would be times where people would just want Dre to like them so bad that they would lose themselves and not have their own opinion. And with me and him, we were very, very close because I think that we respected that we always stood on what we believed in, but did it in a respectful way and never disrespected each other. We would have those matches where our voices would get passionate, but we never disrespected each other about our creative decisions or whatever. But yes, there was definitely times that creatively it was difficult in that regard because, yeah, it was times that shit would get shot down, it would. But, you know what I'm saying? It just made me work harder, though.
Man.
Dope.
I know we've been on here for a minute. I know we run out a little bit of time here, but I'm still stuck on, like, the independent artists that's coming out, right? What would you say to a young artist who's frustrated? They're putting out music. They might not get much traction. They don't have a budget, no team. And then now they're thinking about signing to a label. What kind of advice do you have for those individuals?
My advice to them is do what works for you, but always keep God first, because independent or major, you got to keep God first, because God is going to get you through indie or major. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because a major label wasn't right for Jon Connor, that don't mean that it ain't right for you, or, you know what I'm saying, or the next person. Like, it's people that got, success stories being on majors. It's just the type of person I am and the type of artist I am that I just think independent works better for me. So even with all of these horror stories that I may have or whatever the case may be, that does not necessarily mean that that's going to be the same situation for you. You might have a more thorough team. You might have a person, you might meet a lawyer that takes a liking to you. You might have an uncle or somebody who's been in the music business before and has certain information. Everybody's story is different. So just because, like I said, my story is specific to my story. So my advice would be follow your heart, follow your intuition. A major might be good for you, depending on the team that you have, the level of understanding that you have, how good of a listener you are. Like everything is specific to your situation. So I'm not that dude to be like, don't sign a fucking major label. Shit, if you got the right team behind you, you could be the next fucking Kendrick Lamar. I personally watched Kendrick Lamar's team do what the fuck they needed to do to succeed on a major label. You know what I'm saying? Because everything, the pieces was in place. So I can't say don't do it. If you got all the pieces in place, you know what I'm saying? Then go for it. You know what I'm saying? That would be my advice though, to follow your intuition. Make sure you got a solid team behind you. And whether you're going to do indie or major, just follow your intuition and put God first.
Word.
Okay. So let me add one thing here. And it just came to mind, right? So you've talked a lot about like your days as an artist on a label, and you know now you enjoy being indie, right? So what if you got the phone call tomorrow, right? Phone call comes tomorrow. The amount is right. The terms of the contract is right. Would you sign another label deal?
The amount is right and the terms are right. The amount is right and the terms are right. That's a good question. At that point, it would be based on the energy I felt from the people that approached me with the deal.
Mm-hmm.
So if the money was right and the terms was right, now it's about the people. Who are you? Who are these people that I'm about to be doing business with? What's the vibes I get? What's the energy I get from these people? Because, yeah, money and terms, that's half the battle. But who people are in real life and their motives and intentions, and then how they're going to use you and your gift going forward and what their motives and intentions are, that's equally as important to think about. So I think that it's possible that I would do a major label deal, but if the terms was right and the money was right. But that third part is the people, the energy, and the spirits of those people that I'm doing business with has to be right as well.
Right. So
I love that.
I mean, assuming maybe they not your best friends, but they don't come off shady either. You know, it's sort of neutral. If it's sort of neutral on the people aspect of it.
If I mention God and it get weird to them, I ain't doing it.
Okay.
If I mention God and they say something back to me like, and their response is in the same vibration of whatever I just said, that's my test. Like for people, like what is the person's response if I say God? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then it's going to be like, well, then that's what it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I done did business like in that type of situation before where it's like, oh, well, I ain't got to go eat dinner with these people, or I don't got to do this with these people to get money with them. No, I ain't doing that no more. Because you feel me? Because even the way that they're interacting with people when they're not with you affects you. You feel me? The shit that they do when they go home is still affecting you. Like the thing, like their vibration, their energy, the people they're around, the conversations they're having about you to people that you don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then those conversations, and then all of that shit is affecting you. And then, like I say, you could be laying in your bed and the terms was right and the money was right, but now you having like real life problems, like, cause you got to deal with these people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Man, it get real. Like, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I think that to say that I would never do a major label deal, like, I would say never because you just shouldn't never say never. But the thing is, like, I know that is the, that's the confirmation for me. You know, your spirit, your energy, your vibration got to be right. And if I mention God and it get weird, then I ain't fucking with you.
So do you believe that a person like, and then now we getting up to some philosophical, religious or whatever, but I mean, I know this this is a little off topic, but do you believe that based on a person's relationship, if a person doesn't have a relationship with God, that they're automatically not going to be a person with integrity? I mean, I'm saying that personally because I and I may not be the most, religious or godly or anything like that, but I'm just saying in my personal experience, I've had experiences with people who put like the first thing I think mouth is gonna be God, and they gonna stab you in the back quicker than you know what I'm saying.
So okay,
quicker than anybody. And then I've met people who were devout atheists, but they had the integrity that I would trust them. Yeah. So I mean,
you know what? I agree. I do agree with you on that. But I have to go further and say this. I feel like the Most High has blessed me with a certain discernment.
Okay.
Where, oh man, because it was a story I was gonna tell, but I'll just say this. One time I was around a preacher and I knew he wasn't right. I just knew it. And then months later, this motherfucker got caught up in a scandal. And I thought to myself, I was like, I knew this nigga wasn't shit. Like I knew it when I met him. Like I knew it. Like,
is this a recent development?
I heard about a recent one.
It's a recent one.
I may have went to college with one.
This is the Counterculture podcast. We're gonna talk about that one offline.
Some shit just went down.
We'll talk about that one offline. Go ahead.
Okay. But yeah, so I do agree with you on that. So I'll say, I can feel in somebody's, I guess, in how they talk about God or how they, I want to make sure I verbalize this correctly because I want to address what you said because that's true. The actual, one of the guys who actually inspired me to get deeper within my spirituality was an atheist. And he was one of the most solid people I ever met. So yes, I do believe that maybe if people, I don't believe integrity is directly tied to religion. So to answer your question, no, I don't. But I do, when it comes to the music business, I feel like spirituality, when it comes to the music business, that's, damn, I got to say it how it came to me.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like it's about music, but really the spiritual game is all that's going on in the music business.
Okay.
You feel me? So for me, that's very important to me. So for me to involve myself and to be around people that are around like maybe not so godly energies and on a daily basis, because in that music business, there's so many just the lack of morals, the lack of such a lack of spirituality in the music business. And I'm in my journey so filled now with spirituality on my journey and just loving God and wanting to get closer to God, that's so much a part of every decision that I make. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be in church every Sunday or whatever your journey is your journey. But I got to know what team you playing for at the end of the day.
So you know what? I think the way that my grandfather actually, me and J.A.'s grandfather actually, he explained spirituality to me when I was like 7 years old. And at the time I'm a Christian, Like I've always been a Christian basically since I was a teenager, but he was a Muslim during that time. So I think he was with like the Nation of Islam, and how he explained spirituality to a 7-year-old me was that he wrote on a piece of paper the word good and the word evil. And he said, when you grow up, he was like, when people start having discussions about good and evil, he just crossed out an O and added a D to the word evil. He was like, people are going to associate these traits with God and with the devil. And so he was like, just remember that when you hear people talk about God, think about things that are good. So you're looking for what you would call good behaviors, like good practices, like good energy, basically. Absolutely. Like, you know, like what you were saying. And then when you think about evil or the devil, right, you think about people like Sam, bitch ass. That was because that's some evil shit to do that. Yeah, to see somebody go through something, say that I'm not going to put you in that situation and then put you through that situation. That's the epitome of evil.
Indeed. I 100% agree.
Mm-hmm. So, Jon, final thought time, man. Well, how you want to wrap it?
So, final thought for this episode, man. As always, fellas, this is, man. I love doing this shit with y'all, man. We get to open the vault, man, the treasure chest of, like I say, things that I hadn't thought about in years, and all of this shit, raw and uncut. I just want to say, indie versus major. Here it is, my final thought, y'all. If you take nothing else out of this, take the experiences and the journey and the stories that I told in this particular episode and apply them to your life in the sense of these things can happen. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that these things will happen. As a result of you watching this, now you have the information. You have information that I didn't have. A lot of things happened to me on a major label because I didn't have information. You know, a lot of times us as artists and musicians will get so caught up in the creative part and the creative aspect that will totally negate the fact that this is a business. And anywhere that money is getting made, you got to understand, and I'll give you another Dr. Dre quote for everybody that's watching. He said, as hard as you work for your money, it's 10 people working harder to take it from you. So just always remember that. You know what I'm saying? As an artist, you are a light. You're drawing people in. Another wise quote that I once heard somebody say is, if there was a light that you could see from your house and it was 30 miles away, but it was so bright that you could see it and it was drawing you to it, it's not just drawing good people to it, it's drawing bad people to it too. Everyone's drawn to the light. So when you're an artist or you're doing something or you just got that specialness in you, you're going to attract good people and negative people. And in the music business, there are good people and there are negative people. So when it all comes down to it, y'all, use your discernment. Take my journey as my journey. Don't take it as gospel, as these things will happen to you. These are the things that were just necessary for me to go through on my journey to become the person I am now. So if you an artist on a major label and that shit working out for you, salute. If you're independent and it's working out for you, salute. If you a motherfucker that just love making music and you're in your, you know what I'm saying, you in your crib and you don't want to get paid nothing from it, salute to you. Long as you're doing what the fuck you want to do, then that's what it's all about. And if you go to sleep happy and wake up happy, God bless you. So until next time, y'all, we might have to do a part 2 of this because I definitely want to answer more questions because I know some of my stories I get long-winded. I'm sorry, y'all, airy shit. So, you know what I'm saying? We could do a part 2 to this because I definitely want to make sure I give clarity and perspective. But I hope y'all enjoyed this episode and we will see y'all next time, man.
Dope.
All right. Peace.
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 Thanks.